you over there, Jeremy. If I could just ask you if it was okay to record this. The recording is on. Can I have you read that red sign right there?
This room is being audio and video recorded.
And I have your permission to do that?
Yes.
In the state of Washington, I have to ask you.
Okay.
Unless there's a court order involved. Time now is 3:10 p.m., 15:10 for you. Military cats. This is in reference to case number 14-289-1132. It's administrative stuff for recording. I'm Detective Todd Jordan, Lakewood Police Department Homicide Unit. And can I get you to say your whole name, spell your last, and give me your date of birth?
Jeremy Lee Henry, Henry.
Date of birth? And what's your address?
I'm on base post. I live in the barracks.
And your phone number for recording? Okay. This is in reference to a homicide investigation that I'm conducting, where a young lady that you knew was killed last Thursday night. And I understand that you had you had a friendship with her for some period of time.
Yes.
And that you guys grew up in the same area, is that right?
Yes.
In Northern California?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then how long have you been stationed here?
It's been since January.
Okay, for about 10 months then, right?
Yes, sir.
And have you had some contact with her in the last 10 months?
Yes. Okay. I was actually at her house Wednesday night.
On Wednesday night?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you spend the night that night?
No.
Okay. All right. Let me just tell you this, Jeremy, that you're not in trouble. It doesn't matter if you did spend the night. It doesn't matter what. I just need the complete truth because in the investigation, we've learned that she might have had a friend that spent the night a couple times in the last few weeks there, and in the fact that her husband, Skylar, may have had that knowledge of that. And what I want to kind of find out if that's why he shot her or not, you know. But even if that is the case, if that is the reason why, you're still not responsible for his actions. His actions are his own. He owns those.
Right.
So I don't want you to hold anything back.
Yeah.
Very important to be as truthful, but I certainly don't want you to say something that isn't true either. I want
totally
you to make it. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So how long did you and Danielle, she went by Danielle, but her name was Tara, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you call her Danny?
I called her my mini-me. I called her my mini-me.
Mini-me? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So mini-me and you, how long have you guys known each other?
Since like grade school.
Right.
I was always with her. I was always hanging out with her. We pretty much knew everything about each other. We always talked.
So from grade school, say, about how old do you think you were?
I'd say like 5 years old.
So it's from 5, okay. All right. Well, then let me just say this. I'm sorry for your loss. She sounded like a wonderful person. Okay. Tell me more about that relationship over the years. Did you date as a boyfriend-girlfriend?
It was off and on, but I never let it get in between us. I knew we were just really close.
What do you mean dated on and off and on, but didn't let it get between you?
Because we were so close, we tried it a few times, but it didn't really work out. It was just better.
Did you have an intimate relationship?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was better off just being best friends. And
right.
That's how it always was.
What did her husband Skylar think of that relationship?
He didn't like it. He didn't trust her being around other guys. He didn't personally like me. I'd met him a couple times. I didn't really approve of it because she didn't really know him long enough. But
right.
It was to get her away from home because she didn't have a really stable situation back home. So
right. Where was she living back home?
It was pretty much just her and her sister, and her dad just on a lot of medications, and it was just...
He just killed himself recently, didn't he?
Pretty much. I believe that's what it was. I didn't really try to bother with that.
Right. She didn't tell you?
She told me a few things, but it wasn't... I didn't want to get into any detail because I know it's a sore subject. I've been there and done that. It's not something really...
Was he using drugs, street drugs and things like that?
Yes, sir.
And that's who raised her?
Yes, sir.
But it's actually her stepfather, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And her mother passed when she was young?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you know Skylar from the neighborhood when you grew up?
I did not. He was actually a town about 5 miles away from mine, so I didn't physically know him. I've heard a lot about him, but I didn't actually
What did she think of him?
She loved him, and she felt right with him. She felt safe.
Did you ever know her to have bruises or marks from where you hit her or anything like that?
I never saw them, but she did mention them to me. And
What did she say to you about that?
She pretty much told me that when he drinks, he becomes abusive.
Right.
And
But let me just clarify something. I'm an old guy. I'm almost 51 years old. How old are you?
I'm 19.
19. Okay, so when you say pretty much, to me that sounds like you're leaving detail out. It may not be.
Right.
But just so I understand, when you say pretty much, are you saying that when he drank, he was abusive, or are you saying sometimes when he drank, he was abusive?
Sometimes when he drank.
Okay, because that's real important. I don't want to paint him as a picture as being an asshole all the time if he was just a part-time asshole. You know what I'm saying?
Totally understand.
Okay.
I don't physically know, but it's just
what she told you.
She has told me.
Okay, so tell me what she told you about that.
He tends to hit her, slap her. I guess it all kind of depends on what he's drinking. Usually it's just hard alcohol. It just puts him off.
When he drinks hard alcohol?
Yes, sir. And that's... I know he didn't have any trust in her.
No trust?
So whenever I was with her, she was going to lunch with me or whatever it was, he didn't like it. And I'm not sure if there was something that he didn't like about me or if he thought there was something going on behind his back. I would never do that, but I don't, because he didn't know me, maybe he just thought it was the worst.
Okay, and the last 3 weeks while he was in Yakima in training, did you spend the night over there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how many times was that?
I believe it was like 2 or 3, sir.
Well, which was it? I mean, you're not talking a long time ago.
No, sir. Might have been two days. It was just like she was alone. She wanted somebody to talk to, watch movies.
Did you guys sleep in the same bed?
No, sir.
Did you have an intimate relationship?
No,
you're not in trouble if you do. I mean,
no.
She's a pretty girl. I mean, no one would blame you if you did. I'm just saying, you know. But you had no relationship with her.
No,
Did she have an affair with anybody that you're aware of?
No,
You guys were really close friends. What about her new boss?
No, sir. It was all work.
Yeah. And she would go to dinner with him and stuff, you know.
Yes, sir.
The boss. Did she say he ever made her feel uncomfortable, the new boss?
No, sir.
Did she ever say he was cute? I think the one word I heard was she thought he was gorgeous.
Yes, but it was nothing.
Okay, but listen, make sure you understand this too. I'm not trying to make her out to be a prostitute, a whore, or anything like that. I think nothing of that at all. I don't. But I mean, so don't hold back on it. If she said something, I'm just trying to build the case so I understand. Right. So when Skylar's charged, actually officially charged, that they have all the information. I don't want to undercharge him, and I don't want to overcharge him with a crime. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So if she said, "Oh, this guy's gorgeous," and I'd like to jump his bones, that doesn't mean she's a bad girl. It just means that's what she said. So I want you to make. But again, I'm not asking you to say something she didn't say. But I need to be as detailed as possible.
Got it, sir.
Okay, so at any time did you think that she was uncomfortable with this guy? Did she say anything about Skylar being upset about it?
No, sir. Not that she had discussed with me, sir.
Never said that Skylar was jealous of the boss?
No, sir.
Did she say Skylar was jealous of your relationship, your friendship with her?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did she tell you that somebody bought her liquor for Skylar?
Yes, sir, and I was aware of that, and I was a little scared because of past experiences with him drinking.
Right.
I wasn't comfortable with it, and I wasn't going to buy it or have one of my friends buy it because I just was not comfortable with it.
Did she ask you to? Did you want your buddies to do that?
Yes, sir.
Because you're not of age to buy it.
No, sir.
Okay, so what she asked you to and you said, I can't, or
yes,
what was your exact word?
I told her my friends are unavailable right now.
Just got to put her off.
Yes, sir.
Right. Did you see the liquor there? Because you spent the night, Wednesday night?
I didn't spend that night.
Okay, but you were there Wednesday night?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you see liquor there at the house?
I did see the
Okay, what was it?
It was, I know it was Fireball and some sort of whiskey.
Like a Sailor Jerry's, maybe?
I think it was, sir.
Okay. All right. But Fireball, you saw it. Were they the big, like a fifth size?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Did you guys have anything, and you're not in trouble, I don't care, I'm not the alcohol police, I'm a homicide detective. Right. So did you guys have a drink that night together?
No, sir.
Okay, they were still open, or were they open, or were they still sealed?
They were still sealed, sir.
Okay. All right. And when you spent the night there, I'm trying to figure this out, so you spent the night at her house, where did you sleep?
I was on the couch, sir.
On the couch? You didn't see him sleep in the spare bed?
No, sir. There was one night that I was in the spare bed. And
What night was that?
It was when I was sick. It was probably like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And
Did she sleep in the bed with you then?
No, sir.
Because when we did the search, there was a pair of panties in that bed. It just seemed to be odd because she slept in the other room.
She told me that she actually had a friend over that stayed the night, and it was a girl. I wasn't there when that was going on, but she said she had a friend stay the night, and so the bed was a mess. And
what do you think Skylar would have thought if he knew that you spent the night?
he would probably be pretty upset.
Do you think that she told him?
I have no idea. She might have. I don't think she would because he might get angry from that. He physically just does not like me and doesn't trust her being around me. But she has told him that we grew up together. It's nothing intimate. There's nothing.
But you did have an intimate relationship prior to them getting married.
Yes, I don't believe she told him that just to be safe and not to push his buttons or anything.
Right.
It was nothing like that.
Okay, so you don't know of anybody, as close as you guys were, you don't know of anybody that she was sleeping with to have an intimate relationship with other than Skylar?
No, sir.
Okay, in your belief, do you think she was?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you think that Skylar thought she was?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you think that he thought you were the one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so let me see, that's kind of leading, I don't want to ask that, but excuse me just a second, sorry. Apologize. Should have turned that down. So, when you guys were together this week, what time did you leave on Wednesday?
I would say it was about 9 o'clock, sir.
Did anybody see you leave?
No, I don't believe so, sir.
Did you talk to her neighbors at all?
No, sir. I never met her neighbors.
Did she have friends that live in the same apartment complex?
Not that I know of. I never met any of them or talked to any of them.
How many times a week do you think you talk to her?
Over text or like...
So text, yeah, communicate with her.
It was just about every day. I would just see how she's doing, what she's up to, how work's been.
So, in that last text, do you still have your text?
Yes, sir. Wednesday night.
From Wednesday night, did you say anything about being there, spending the night, anything in that text? Do you mind reading me the last couple texts?
Because I had a joke going on with her that she acted like a mom. Mm-hmm. So I was calling her mother just to like joke around with her. But I told her I was planning on going over to her place after work to help her with math so she can get her diploma.
Uh-huh.
And she said okay, and I was just giving her a heads up that I was going to be on my way.
That was on Wednesday?
That was on Wednesday. And she said, I'm getting my nails done, so let me know when you're on your way. And I said, okay. And she said, call me when you can. And I told her I'm going to go home and change, and then I'll be on my way. And she said, okay.
Yeah, but she never told you that Skylar looks through her phone or anything like that?
She has from the past, and I'm not worried about it because he shouldn't have anything to worry about. I would never do that at all. And that just, it wasn't.
You're 19, and if she came on you would say no?
I would say no. I just personally would never do that to somebody.
You don't want to be a Jody?
No, sir.
All right. Is that because you're in the military and you don't want to be a Jody, or is that just...
That's just my personal, I wouldn't...
Well, I commend you for that, because a lot of guys would.
I don't think it's right.
Right. Oh, that's commendable. And I'm not teasing you or nothing like that, but because most young 19-year-olds only think with the head between the legs, you know what I mean? But that's not you.
No.
Okay. All right. Don't delete your text if that's okay.
That's
I want all the texts and communication. And that was the last communication
That was the last one. That was from Wednesday night.
She said, so come when you can? That was the last one? Okay. And that, about what time was that on Wednesday?
I don't think it has a time. Oh,
it should.
She said okay was the last text message, and that was at 5:42.
Do you mind if I look at it?
That's fine.
So I'm older, I got one of my glasses. 5:42 on Wednesday, the night before she passed.
Yes, sir.
You mind if I scroll?
That's totally fine. The last thing that we did, we actually went to McDonald's for dinner because I told her about the whole McDonald's bring Monopoly back.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, okay, well, we can go to McDonald's to get something to eat. And that's when I dropped her off and just went back to base.
Okay, so these are the only messages you had, because there's only...
That's the only ones I've kept.
Would you deleted them prior to that?
Yeah, I don't like to have messages built up.
What is that?
It's just a thing that I
You don't have a girlfriend that you're trying to...
I don't.
Right. Okay. Well, let me ask you about the relationship with her and Skylar, that what you're aware of. Did you ever see bruises on her?
She never showed me. I never saw anything.
Did you ever see her face swell up?
Never.
Okay. No bruises on her arm or anything like that?
Not that I've
Okay,
seen.
but she said that he was abusive when he drinks.
Yes, sir.
When she said abusive, was like verbal abuse? Did he call her a bitch, a whore, a cunt, whatever?
It was verbal and physically.
And physical. She said that to you?
Yes, sir.
Did she ever tell you what she was attracted to him by?
Not that I have.
He was like
No.
the coolest dude because he was a gunner on top of the
She
striker.
just felt comfortable with him, like she didn't tell him anything, and that
Obviously
he would
not.
protect her. Right.
Okay. So you said 2 times you spent the night in the last 3 weeks over there,
Yes, sir.
and you were over there Wednesday night prior, but you didn't spend the night.
No, sir.
Okay. Were you over there any other nights other than 2 that you spent in the 3 weeks?
I went to the mall there one time, and we just.
And within the last 3 weeks, what
Yes,
Skylar
sir.
was gone?
I actually was with one of my friends too, and he was also. We grew up with her, and
Yeah.
we just went to the mall because he needed some clothes, and that was, I believe, the only other time I was with her.
Did you spend the night that night?
No, sir.
Did your friend spend the night with her?
No, sir.
And again, I'm not trying to paint her as a Scarlet type of a girl, that's just jumping on each GI that walks by. I don't think that at all. But you guys had an intimate relationship in the past, and it's kind of, I would assume that you guys still, I'm old, like I said, but she wasn't like a fuck buddy.
No, sir.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying
Yes,
by
sir.
that? Okay. You never know with the younger generation.
Right.
Anything else you can tell me you think about her and Skylar, or anything that she had said to you, or any of her sisters might have said about their relationship? You knew her sisters, right?
Yes.
Ashley, and what's the other one's name?
Mickey.
Mickey. What's her real name? Not
I
Michaela?
don't. I think it's Michaela.
Okay. And she had a brother too, right?
Yes.
And he was in jail a lot?
He was in jail.
What was his deal? Was he a doper?
He was a doper, and he broke into a lot of things. And he just caused a lot of trouble. He was like breaking into their house, stealing some things. That was it. I didn't.
How well
really,
did you know Ashley?
I didn't know her very well. I didn't know really any of her family very well. It was just her.
Yeah. Anything else you can think of that's going to help me? Kind of want to paint a picture of what kind of person she was, and by no means me asking if you slept with her. And you're not. There's no crime in that, no legal crime in that I would worry about if I were you. I'm just saying that if that is why, if she told Skylar or something like that, that's something I need to know. Or if it did happen, I need to know just to say.
No, I never did anything like that. I just think he didn't feel comfortable with her being around other guys. From high school, when I found out they were dating, he was uncomfortable with her being around other guys. And me being really close to her, I was with her almost all the time. And I know that he was not comfortable with that at all. And when I was at her house, when I met him the first time, he wasn't comfortable with me. He didn't really like me. I'm not sure why, but that's just how it came across.
What's your job?
I'm an MP.
Mm-hmm. Did he feel intimidated by that you're an MP and he was a mortarman?
I don't think so.
It was more of that you had knowledge of his wife and he wanted to control that or whatever.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know that, right? And you're absolutely sure you guys didn't have an intimate relationship?
Yes, sir.
Because we checked to see on the autopsy to see if there was anybody's a semen that would be in her, on her person. to make sure, so that's not something that we'll
No.
find out later.
Nothing.
Okay. She felt comfortable with you, but not comfortable enough with you to tell Skylar that you spent the night? Or do you think she told him?
She might have told him, but I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
He might have found out. I'm sure he would know by somebody, but I don't
What do you
see
think
offense
he
to
would
that.
do?
He would probably be pretty pissed off. I feel like he'd probably be even more pissed off with her not telling him. And when I was at the house and he would call, she told me not to say anything or do anything because he might get pissed off that I was there. But I was just there to.
How many
so she
times
wasn't
did he
alone.
call while you were there?
I know of about 3.
All in the same time, or with over the period of time that you were there?
It
Times
was
like
within the period of
Okay,
time.
like the one night you spent the night, the next night you might have called once here and twice there, or vice
Right.
versa, something like that. Okay. Was she panicked when he called?
No.
She
not at
said,
all.
what'd she say? Don't say that.
She was just like, just be quiet. And
Or
I
Skylar
knew it
will
was
say
him,
it.
yeah.
Do you think that, did you ever fear that he would kill her?
I never thought it would happen.
But 19, you're not supposed to think like that.
No, not at all. I mean, when I found out, I was devastated. I didn't think it would ever get to that point. I didn't think somebody could possibly get that mad or anything like that. Due to how she felt about him, I never thought he would do that. And
Sometimes people think they can love somebody better, make them
Right.
better from being abusive or whatever, you know.
she
And then they
really
sometimes
tried.
they think that it's their fault that they're abusive. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
She think only if I'd have done this better, he wouldn't have hit me, that type of thing.
Yeah. I think
So
that was probably the
don't
kind of
ever think
person-
less of her because she was still with him.
No.
You know, I have daughters, and I would hope that they would leave if some guy ever smacked them.
Right. That's.
But I also understand the reason that they stay, not because they want to be beat, but sometimes they don't have a support system, or they have nowhere to go, or the offender isolates them from everybody.
Nobody to really depend upon.
Right.
Really. Yeah. It was,
And you live in the barracks, right?
yes, sir.
So it's not like she could run and stay with you if for protection.
Right.
She just had to she made her bed, she's gonna lie in it type of a thing, which is a sad thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I was pretty much there just to make sure she was okay and she was comfortable, and if she needed anybody to talk to, I wasn't too far away. And
So how many times do you think over the period of time you talked to her, she confided in you that he beat her up, or punched her, slapped her, or whatever? Verbally abusive, those things.
it's probably just been like a handful of times.
Once is one too many.
Right. When she tells me that, I told her to she needs to get away from it because that's not healthy. It's not good. And once it happens once, he's going to do it again. And
Well, it's a learned behavior.
right. And I think she was just trying to cope with it, trying to figure out ways to keep
She
it
had
from
nice
doing
apartments and nice things. She didn't want
Right.
to leave all that to go back to
Exactly.
go back to Eureka and not have anything.
Yeah. And I think she only rushed into the marriage because it wasn't healthy at home. And before she turned 18, she said she was getting out. She was leaving when she turned 18. And I guess that was just a
Her way.
perfect opportunity. Just get out. And me, my friends, some of her friends, we were all afraid. We just told her, wait it out, be with him for a while, see if it's really him. And she just wanted to leave. And that was when she took it. But I personally didn't know the guy at all. I just met him once and that was it. Pretty much everybody from back home just knew that I was the closest one to her. So they knew I would take this whole thing pretty rough. And I was always in touch with her. I I've hung out with her a few times, hung out with her and her friends. Skylar's obviously has that job to where he's in the field all the time, so if her friends are going out, she's invited me a few times. It's trying to hook me up with her friends, and that's all it really has been. That's it.
You talking to anybody, make sure you're okay with this? You talk to the chaplain or anything?
I haven't talked to the chaplain, but I was with behavioral health before this happened. I've just had a lot of stuff going on.
Before she was killed?
Yes, sir. Because last time I went to the field, I actually had a grandparent pass away, so now I'm getting on the field again. So it's just a lot of stuff going on.
Listen, old man now, okay? Forget the cop thing. Sometimes what happens is life's really unfair. But part of being a man, being a soldier, being a cop, being a garbage man, doesn't matter. Part of growing up and having a sack of nuts is that you have to take those things. You have to understand that we only control the things that we can control. We can't control all those other things, but we have to keep moving forward. Because when my son died 2 years ago, he was older than you, but when he passed away, I have to live for him because he doesn't have that opportunity. So just like for Danny, you got to live for her. You know what I'm saying? Your little mini-me. You have to live for her, and you have to take care of yourself to experience life for her because she's not here now. And you cheat her. You absolutely cheat her out of the rest of your life if you start drinking or you do something stupid or you don't live life to its fullest. And her memory deserves better than that, right?
Exactly.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you have to live your life to as fullest as you can. Do the right thing, because she seems to me like she was wanting to do the right thing. She enrolled in school. She's trying to get her diploma, right? She got a job. She everything that I could see about her through Facebook and talking to people. She was a good kid. I mean, she was a kid still. So were you. But part of that deal is for her memory. You're tasked. Now you've been placed in a position. You're the steward for her life. You know what that means when I say you're a steward for her life. You're put in a position that you have to live life as full as you can in her memory. Because if you don't, you cheat her. If I don't, I cheat my son. See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Follow me? So it's okay to cry. It's okay to talk to a chaplain. It's okay to talk to a behavioral health person, whoever. It's okay to cry. I don't care if the Army says you can't. I'm telling you, it's okay. But you have to live for her. And the only time you fail her as a friend, as a confidant or any of that thing, is if you don't do that. If you don't get up every day saying, I'm going to be a better man today than I was yesterday. I'm going to do that for Danny. If you fail and you're not a better man than yesterday, as long as you're trying, then you never really fail. See what I'm saying? It's okay to backslide a little bit. But each time you get up, before your feet hit the floor, you have to say, I'm going to live for Danny today. For your mini-me, you're going to live life to the fullest. You're going to look at the sky, you're going to look at the mountains, you're going to look at the trees, you're going to see everything that you know she likes. Live your life for her, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's real easy in a position like this when you have a real close friend to just start drinking and say fuck it and crawl into a bottle or get kicked out of the Army because you don't leave us stress the whole bit, whatever the case might be. That's easy. The hard part is being a man where you step up and okay, now I have to do this for me and her, not solely for her. Don't lose yourself in the process, right? But for you and her. And the only time you dishonor her memory is if you don't do that. And you seem like a pretty good friend. You don't want to dishonor her memory, right? Or your own, you know. So it's going to be tough, but it's okay to cry. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Because it ain't that I'm a fucking basket case. Because I do at times, you know, when things are really good. Because it's an outlet, and it's okay to do that. I know you got to be tough and the MP and the whole fucking and all that shit, you know. And that's true. There's times that you have to be tough and you don't get the opportunity to have that emotion. But when you're at that place where you're away or you're talking to somebody, it's okay to let it down. You know, you can't be on 24/7.
Right.
You just can't. You got to have that downtime. You know what I mean? You understand condition white, yellow, red, or, you know, black, all those things. Or when you're shitting on yourself, you're in condition black. you're ready to kill, you're in condition red, and you're aware when you're in yellow. Some people call it orange, you know. White, you got your fucking feet up, and you're smoking a cigar and watching TV or something, you know what I mean? You gotta have that white time. You gotta let that stuff down. You can't be on, you can't be tough every day. You know, be tough when you need to be, but remember, for her memory and your own, you have to live that, right?
Yes, sir.
So I can see in your eyes that, I mean, this is hard for you. You know? And it should be. I mean, if you have any soul inside, you know, it should be. And it's okay to be sad, you know. But don't let that control the rest of your life. Make her proud of what you do in the military. Move the rest of your life if you stay in or you get out, whatever the case is. You do what you can do to be the best person you can be for her, right? Because that's what she wanted, right? I mean, I can tell you, for just a brief, and I didn't ever get the chance to meet her alive, but from this investigation, she seemed like it was a pretty sharp kid.
She really was.
Okay. So she deserves that. She also deserves me to do the best job I can so he can be held accountable for his actions. I'm not going to fabricate anything. I'm not going to make anything up, make it worse than it is. You know? But I want to make sure that I have all the information so he's held accountable by the law. I believe in higher power, so I know eventually at one point he'll be held accountable by God as well.
Right.
But on this earth, I want to make sure that by law, within the guidelines of the law, he's held accountable.
Yes, sir.
But so if there's anything else you can think of? Nothing else. Okay. Well, like in the beginning, when I started this interview, I had to ask permission to record it. I also have to ask permission to shut it off, to shut the recording off. Anything else you want to add to the statement?
No.
Anything you can think of?
Nothing at all.
Okay. So I'll just clarify a few things. You spent at least 2 nights there in the last 3 weeks. You were there the night before.
Yes, sir.
Skylar didn't like you.
No, sir.
Okay. He was jealous of your relationship with his wife. Is that my words or your words?
That would be my words.
Okay.
He was jealous of how close I was to her.
All right. You don't know if he had knowledge that you spent the night there or not?
I do not.
Okay. What do you think?
I'm sure he found out some way.
Okay. Do you think
if she didn't tell him?
If she didn't tell him, he may have found out. Do you think that would have made him angry?
I believe it would have pissed him off.
Okay. And but you didn't have that intimate relationship, so any of those things?
No, sir.
Okay. You had an intimate relationship before they were married?
Yes, sir.
But not since?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, that doesn't make you less of a man.
Right.
Right? I'm not trying to question your honor or your integrity. I just want to make sure that that's the case.
Yes, sir.
That's the case. No intimate relationship in this last 3 weeks.
Nothing.
Okay. Okay, I think I got it. It's all on recording. If I don't, I'll listen to it again. Make sure. If I have another question, if something else comes up, would it be all right for me to contact you?
That's totally fine, sir.
Okay. I know you're going in the field tomorrow, right?
I believe they're going to keep me back just in case.
Just in case of this? Okay. Do you want, I don't think I'll need anything in the next few days. How long are they going to be in the field?
Until Friday, sir.
Until Friday. If you want to go in the field, I have no problem. I'll call your captain, tell him, hey, I'm done with him, and if I need him, I'll get him next week. You want me to do that?
I can do it this week if you need me anytime.
Yeah, I'm not going to be here the rest of the week, so I know I'm not going to be questioned the rest of this week. So if you want to go to the field, I'll call Captain Snyder and say, hey, he's helped out, he's done. I don't need him anymore for this week. Is that what you want me to do?
It's just kind of hard dealing with this and then having to go to the field. It's just...
So you want to leave it as is?
Yeah.
I got you. I won't call Captain Snyder.
It's just really hard to...
I got you, brother. But in this time while you're here, go see your mental health guy or your chaplain, whoever, somebody. Because this is the deal, man. I'm serious. As tough as the Army guys are, you're not a soldier at one when it comes to this, right?
Exactly.
You got it, and it's okay. I've been a cop a long time. I go see what I call the wizard once a month, man, just to make sure I'm processing everything right.
Yeah.
Of course, I owe it to myself and my family. I don't want to yell at the kids and kick the dog because I'm having a bad day at work. You know what I'm saying?
Because I actually grew up pretty rough too, so I totally feel this. And I actually was supposed to go see my behavioral health this week, and we were supposed to be in the field, so I had to cancel it. So I'll probably give him a call as soon as I can and see if he has anything.
Well, keep it together, man, because you're in the United States Army, and you want to be a good soldier. I don't know if you plan a whole career of it or not. It's up to you. I mean, how long have you been in?
This will be my year.
Your year?
My first year.
Tough year.
Yes.
Tough year. But this is the deal, man. It gets easier. It doesn't get harder. It gets easier. There'll be some hard times, but overall it gets a lot easier.
Some early mornings.
Yeah. Just a sec. Make sure this is checking in. Apologize about that.
That's all
My
right.
wife's out of town, so told her she has to check in with that. So you're good now to go, and I have your permission to end the interview, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's 15:46 or 3:46 time. Just hang out right here for a second. I'll shut off the interview and I'll come back and get, or the tape, and I'll come back and get you. All right?
Okay, no problem.